I'd like to speak a little bit today about a reference I had on our website for the herbs. Usually, people who try our ticked off formula respond really positively and give it 5 stars. And we got a 1 star review, and I read it, and it wasn't about the herbs. The woman actually said the herbs might be wonderful, but it tasted really bad, and her daughter hated it. And she tried it, and it was awful. And how can I offer this? And I wrote back what I'm going to speak about right now, which is why herbs? What's the difference between an herbal tea and an herbal medicine? And how do we derive herbs and what are they good for? Very simply, this isn't going to be a book, but basically, the nature of herbs is to absorb the active ingredients in the plant, whether it's the root, the leaf, or the stems, and get that active ingredient out of the material, out of the plant and into the liquid. And the only way to do that is using a solvent. The best solvent is pure organic alcohol. Mixed with water, it absorbs all of the active ingredients in the plant into what we call the menstruum, into the liquid. So when you take that liquid, you're getting the medicinal quality of that plant. And 9 times out of 10, it really tastes bad. So the art of taking an herbal tonic is how to mix it with something that camouflages the taste. I tell people if you take an herbal tincture, put it in water, the alcohol evaporates off, and then you can drink it, and there's almost no alcohol left. If it's warm water, it dilutes the alcohol quicker, but yet the active ingredients of the herb stay suspended in in the solvent, which is what we're drinking, which is why the herbs are made with alcohol. They're also made with glycerin. They're not nearly as effective, but if you add a little glycerin to the alcohol, it stays effective, which this comment that I got on our website, I'm taking into account. And the next batch of herb we make will put 10% glycerin to make it a little more palatable. But really, an herbal tea that we have, like a chamomile tea, is to taste good and it has a nice calming effect, but you're not getting the medicinal quality of it. But the herb itself, in order to get that, you've got to take all of those bad tasting ingredients and get them into the menstruum. So this is why often herbal medicines taste bad, but I'd like to explain a bit of how we find herbal medicines. Most Western pharmacological products do come from herbs originally. And I'd like to tell you about one product in particular that Dr. Pickering in England in the 1800s discovered. There was a woman who was an herbalist, wise woman, that people used to go to for dropsy, which today we call congestive heart failure. It's where the fluid starts building up and people blow up with fluid starting at their feet until their organs drown. A lot of people died of it, but today we have a cure based on this wise woman. Dr. Pickering knew that Western medicine back in those days didn't have an answer to it, but realized that people that went to see this person got better. So he went there and spoke with her and said, "What do you give them?" And it turned out that all of the tonics that she made for people had foxglove. So he took the plant, he dissected it in the laboratory and found out that one of the ingredients in the foxglove, called digoxin, had this effect of reversing congestive heart failure at support of the heart. They took the digoxin, made a chemical of it, and we call it digitalis. So, the herb itself is somewhat toxic. So in America, we can't use it. But in England, where I did my training in medical herbology, they do use it because these herbal doctors are licensed and have that medical training. But they did find out about 10 years ago that people taking digitalis had side effects, whereas the people taking the complete herb of foxglove did not have the side effects. So the herb is a whole. So I just wanted to share a bit about what herbal medicine is, how we extract the active ingredients so that when you take it, you know you're getting it, but not to expect something to taste good. It doesn't. But there are so many ways of camouflaging. And I ask my clients, what do you do? You know, a person that I saw yesterday brought her 13-year-old daughter, who I actually made an herbal tonic for. And I told her this story and she got back and said, I didn't mind it. I thought it tasted pretty good. But what she does with the herbs when she takes them is mixes them with black cherry juice. Other people just put it in water. Other people put it in tea. There are many ways of taking the herb to camouflage the bad flavor, but often it is the bad flavor, the bitter qualities of the herbs that act to do the medicinal properties or give you the medicinal properties that we're using to treat. So I hope this is helpful. I'm responding to questions with these talks. So if you have any questions, please send it to 5elementhealing.net and I'd be happy to talk about it. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.